But that's what I've been seeing. It's funny with the economic woes that the country has been having, and where it's clearly, I think, it's to anybody that it has to do with the deregulation of the banks. The banks, just a very small. When you look at the percentage of loans that the banks felt pressure to give to poor, underprivileged people, it's just a very small percentage of it. There's a bigger thing going on. The bigger thing where the banks were allowed to sell the loans to other people. That's the real problem. If it was just a loan, this other thing just isolated that the government was forcing the banks to write these bad loans, we wouldn't have had to give the banks in Wall Street $700 billion, okay? Those bad loans are just a tiny, infinitesimal fraction of that whole problem. I mean, that doesn't explode. That's the domino that knocked everything down? No, that's nonsense. And yet there's people on YouTube, there's people out there that believe that. And it's just wrong. A lot of it I saw is the barrier between a regular bank that's regulated by the government that can give out loans, but they can't sell the loans to somebody else, and the idea that you keep your money in the bank not as an investment. And a lot of these so-called investment banks started getting involved. And the barrier between a regular bank and an investment bank was broken. And that's why these regular banks started selling these loans overseas as guaranteed ways for investors to make money. And that's the way it was sold. It was the idea that it was more reliable than the stock market, and you could earn a lot more interest than in a regular savings account. I'm not an economist. That's my view of that. But it's so funny to me that there's people out there that believe the opposite of what I just said. They said, oh no, it was less regulation would fix it. Just let the market go more unfettered. The banks have no rules. Abolish the Federal Reserve. Those are all the problems. It's the Federal Reserve. It's the Rothschilds. I don't buy it. That's not my strong area, economics. Man, my eyes glaze over when I talk about it. I have a hard time balancing my own checkbook, figuring out my own finances. Because I just go, That's probably why I'm so poor, is like mismanaging my money. Hey, I make way more than minimum wage, but it's not like I was a union worker back in the day. Man, in San Diego, during the boom part of the aerospace industry in San Diego during the 70s, it was a person, and now without any kind of crazy loan, doing the job that I do, no problem buying a house, no problem. In San Diego, California. Anyway, lamenting the good old days that I was too young to enjoy. I didn't get into the job market till after the boom was over, as far as those high-paying jobs. Anyway, I do feel good that I voted, and guess who I voted for? There was some interesting that no on 8 thing, that Proposition 8. That's a weird thing that's on there. The other thing that I felt sympathetic to is we have a proposition in California about factory farms passing laws to give animals that are kept in cages a little more room, to treat animals that are destined for slaughter a little more humanely. And I want to say, as the price of gas drops, please tell anybody that'll listen. As Americans, we cannot go back to our fuel-wasting ways. We have to stick to the plan of energy independence, alternative fuel sources, alternative forms of energy, electric cars, whatever. Hydrogen cars, plug-in hybrids, a transition away from having to put gasoline in our cars, or really like highly efficient, internal combustion engines that can get 60 miles to the gallon. None of these big, overblown gas guzzlers. And I understand, if you're a construction worker or something, you do need to drive a big truck. That's okay, but not everybody, not your soccer moms. You don't need to be driving big V8s and stuff, Leave that to the people that really put it to use, okay? And if you are going to drive something like that, don't use it as your everyday driver. If you need something to haul your trailer or something, Anyway, if you can afford it, get like a little economical car that gets good gas mileage. The point is, as the fuel prices drop, please, let's not go back to our fuel wasting ways. you know? Because the prices will just go up again and we won't be prepared. That's what happened to GM and Ford and Dodge. But GM was the biggest loser on that because they put all their stakes on Hummers and big gas guzzling behemoths. And then for my friends over there in the UK, hey, have a great Guy Fawkes Day. I wish we had Guy Fawkes Day in this country. A penny for the guy. All right, I'm winding it up. Hey, I hope you all enjoyed Fez Up. Let me warm this thing up here. We'll go out with some music, eh? All right. While I drink a little bit of this. Is it ready? Is it going to warm up? Where's my sound man? Such a low buzzed show. Oh, there we go. All right, everybody. Have a great week. I'll see you all next week. God willing. Cheers.